Hello friends. Comes to discuss about criminal law. There are two types of criminal law. First is criminal substantive law. Second is procedural criminal law. Substantive criminal law defined what is right and what is liability. Procedural criminal law defined how to enforce such rights and liability. The Indian Penal Code is substantive criminal law and the Code of Criminal Procedure is procedural criminal law. Comes to discussed regarding procedural criminal law, that is Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. This code extend whole of India. This code came into force first day of April 1974. Introduction. Code of Criminal Procedure 1973 is the main legislation on procedure for administration of substantive criminal law in India. Stating simply, it is a main law which provides the procedure which govern the substantive those law which defines provides punishment for crimes. There are 37 chapters and 484 sections, 2 schedules and 56 forms. Comes to discuss all chapters, sections and forms. The Code of Criminal Procedure, 1973. Chapter 1. Preliminary. Sections. 1. Short title, extent and commencement. 2. Definitions. 3. Construction of references. 4. Trial of offences under the Indian Penal Code and other laws. 5. Saving. Chapter 2. Constitution of Criminal Courts and Offices. 6. Classes of Criminal Courts. 7. Territorial divisions. 8. Metropolitan areas. 9. Court of Session. 10. Subordination of Assistant Sessions Judges. 11. Courts of Judicial Magistrates. 12. Chief Judicial Magistrate and Additional Chief Judicial Magistrate, etc. 13. Special Judicial Magistrates. 14. Local Jurisdiction of Judicial Magistrates. 15. Subordination of Judicial Magistrates. 16. Courts of Metropolitan Magistrates. 17. Chief Metropolitan Magistrate and Additional Chief Metropolitan Magistrate. 18. Special Metropolitan Magistrates. 19. Subordination of Metropolitan Magistrates. 20. Executive Magistrates. 21. Special Executive Magistrates. 22. Local Jurisdiction of Executive Magistrates. 23. Subordination of Executive Magistrates. 24. Public Prosecutors. 25. Assistant Public Prosecutors. 25a. Directorate of Prosecution. Chapter 3. Power of Courts. 26. Courts by which offences are triable. 27. Jurisdiction in the case of juveniles. 28. Sentences which high courts and sessions judges may pass. 29. Sentences which magistrates may pass. 30. Sentence of imprisonment in default of fine. 31. Sentence in cases of conviction of several offences at one trial. 32. Mode of conferring powers. 33. Powers of officers appointed. 34. Withdrawal of powers. 35. Powers of judges and magistrates exercisable by their successors in office. Chapter 4. A. Powers of superior officers of police. 36. Powers of superior officers of police. B. Aid to the magistrates and the police. 37. Public when to assist magistrates and police. 38. Aid to person, other than police officer, executing warrant. 39. Public to give information of certain offences. 40. Duty of officers employed in connection with the affairs of a village to make certain report. Chapter 5. Arrest of persons. 41. When police may arrest without warrant. 41a. Notice of appearance before police officer. 41B Procedure of arrest and duties of officer making arrest. 41C Control room at districts. 41D Right of arrested person to meet an advocate of his choice during interrogation. 42 Arrest on refusal to give name and residence. 43 Arrest by private person and procedure on such arrest. 44 Arrest by magistrate. 45 Protection of members of the armed forces from arrest. 46 Arrest how made. 47 Search of place entered by person sought to be arrested. 48 Pursuit of offenders into other jurisdictions. 49 No unnecessary restraint. 50 Person arrested to be informed of grounds of arrest and of right to bail. 50A Obligation of person making arrest to inform about the arrest, etc. to a nominated person. 51 Search of arrested person. Sections. 52 Power to seize offensive weapons. 53 Examination of accused by medical practitioner at the request of police officer. 53A Examination of person accused of rape by medical practitioner. 54 Examination of arrested person by medical officer. 54A Identification of person arrested. 55 Procedure when police officer deputes subordinate to arrest without warrant. 55A Health and safety of arrested person. 56 Person arrested to be taken before magistrate or officer in charge of police station. 57 Person arrested not to be detained more than 24 hours. 58 Police to report apprehensions. 59 Discharge of person apprehended. 60 Power, on escape, to pursue and retake. 60A Arrest to be made strictly according to the code. Chapter 6. Processes to compel appearance. A. Summons. 61 Form of summons. 62 Summons how served. 63 Service of summons on corporate bodies and societies. 64 Service when persons summoned cannot be found. 65 Procedure when service cannot be effected as before provided. 66 Service on government servant. 67 Service of summons outside local limits. 68 Proof of service in such cases and when serving officer not present. 69 Service of summons on witness by post. B. Warrant of arrest. 70 Form of warrant of arrest and duration. 71 Power to direct security to be taken. 72 Warrants to whom directed. 73 Warrant may be directed to any person. 74 Warrant directed to police officer. 75 Notification of substance of warrant. 76 Person arrested to be brought before court without delay. 77 Where warrant may be executed. 78 Warrant forwarded for execution outside jurisdiction. 79 Warrant directed to police officer for execution outside jurisdiction. 80 Procedure on arrest of person against whom warrant issued. Sections. 81 Procedure by magistrate before whom such person arrested is brought. C. Proclamation and attachment. 82 Proclamation for person absconding. 83 Attachment of property of person absconding. 84 Claims and objections to attachment. 85 Release, sale and restoration of attached property. 86 Appeal from order rejecting application for restoration of attached property. D. Other rules regarding processes. 87 Issue of warrant in lieu of or in addition to summons. 88 Power to take bond for appearance. 89. Arrest on breach of bond for appearance. 90. Provisions of this chapter generally applicable to summonses and warrants of arrest. 86. Appeal from order rejecting application for restoration of attached property. D. Other rules regarding processes. 87. Issue of warrant in lieu of or in addition to summons. 88. Power to take bond for appearance. 89. Arrest on breach of bond for appearance. 90. Provisions of this chapter generally applicable to summonses and warrants of arrest. Chapter 7. Processes to compel the production of things. A. Summons to produce. 91. Summons to produce document or other thing. 92. Procedure as to letters and telegrams. B. Search warrants. 93. When search warrant may be issued. 94. Search of place suspected to contain stolen property, forged documents, etc. 95. Power to declare certain publications forfeited and to issue search warrants for the same. 96. Application to High Court to set aside declaration of forfeiture. 97. Search for persons wrongfully confined. 98. Power to compel restoration of abducted females. C. General provisions relating to searches. 99. Direction, etc. of such warrants. 100. Persons in charge of closed place to allow search. 101. Disposal of things found in search beyond jurisdiction. D. Miscellaneous. 102. Power of police officer to seize certain property. 103. Magistrate may direct search in his presence. 104. Power to impound document, etc. produced. 105. Reciprocal arrangements regarding processes. Chapter VII. Reciprocal arrangements for assistance in certain matters and procedure for attachment and forfeiture of property. 105A. Definitions. 105B. Assistance in securing transfer of persons. 105C. Assistance in relation to orders of attachment or forfeiture of property. 105D. Identifying unlawfully acquired property. 105E. Seizure or attachment of property. 105F. Management of properties seized or forfeited under this chapter. 105G. Notice of forfeiture of property. 105H. Forfeiture of property in certain cases. 105-I. Fine in lieu of forfeiture. 105J. Certain transfers to be null and void. 105K. Procedure in respect of letter of request. 105L. Application of this chapter. Chapter 8. Security for keeping the peace and for good behavior. 106. Security for keeping the peace on conviction. 107. Security for keeping the peace in other cases. 108. Security for good behavior from persons disseminating seditious matters. 109. Security for good behavior from suspected persons. 110. Security for good behavior from habitual offenders. 111. Order to be made. 112. Procedure in respect of person present in court. 113. Summons or warrant in case of person not so present. 114. Copy of order to accompany summons or warrant. 115. Power to dispense with personal attendance. 116. Inquiry as to truth of information. 117. Order to give security. 118. Discharge of person informed against. 119. Commencement of period for which security is required. 120. Contents of bond. 120 Contents of bond. 121 Power to reject sureties. 122 Imprisonment in default of security. 123 Power to release persons imprisoned for failing to give security. 124 Security for unexpired period of bond. Chapter 9. Order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. 125 Order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. 126 Procedure. 127 Alteration in allowance. 128 Enforcement of order of maintenance. Chapter 10. Maintenance of public order and tranquility. Unlawful assemblies. Sections. 129 Dispersal of assembly by use of civil force. 130 Use of armed forces to disperse assembly. 131 Power of certain armed force officers to disperse assembly. 132 Protection against prosecution for acts done under preceding sections. Public nuisances. 133 Conditional order for removal of nuisance. 134 Service or notification of order. 135 Person to whom order is addressed to obey or show cause. 136 Consequences of his failing to do so. 137 Procedure where existence of public right is denied. 138 Procedure where he appears to show cause. 139 Power of magistrate to direct local investigation and examination of an expert. 140 Power of magistrate to furnish written instructions, etc. 141 Procedure on order being made absolute and consequences of disobedience. 142 Injunction pending inquiry. 143 Magistrate may prohibit repetition or continuance of public nuisance. Urgent cases of nuisance or apprehended danger. 144 Power to issue order in urgent cases of nuisance or apprehended danger. 144 Power to prohibit carrying arms in procession or mass drill or mass training with arms. Disputes as to immovable property. 145 Procedure where dispute concerning land or water is likely to cause breach of peace. 146 Power to attach subject of dispute and to appoint receiver. 147 Dispute concerning right of use of land or water. 148 Local inquiry. Chapter 11. Preventive action of the police. 149 Police to prevent cognizable offences. 150 Information of design to commit cognizable offences. 151 Arrest to prevent the commission of cognizable offences. 152 Prevention of injury to public property. 153 Inspection of weights and measures. Chapter 12. Information to the police and their powers to investigate. 154 Information in cognizable cases. 155 Information as to non-cognizable cases and investigation of such cases. Sections. 156 Police officers' power to investigate cognizable case. 157 Procedure for investigation. 158 Report how submitted. 159 Power to hold investigation or preliminary inquiry. 160 Police officers' power to require attendance of witnesses. 161 Examination of witnesses by police. 162 Statements to police not to be signed, use of statements in evidence. 163 No inducement to be offered. 164 Recording of confessions and statements. 164A Medical examination of the victim of rape. 165. Search by police officer.